What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the off-season physique update of Michael Krizo, who is enjoying some off time to rest, relax, recover. But the man is making sure that he stays on the eating and the training plan for a greater degree. And that's why the man is looking this good. So this is exactly what makes these IFBB pros so great at what they do. The commitment to the dieting regime, making sure that they eat clean for most part of the year. That's like one of the hardest thing to do, but they're so consistent with that. And Krizo, we all know, has the reputation of being one of the most dedicated guys to this kind of lifestyle. So the man this time had a very long year. He made his comeback at the Pittsburgh Pro and the New York Pro after going through that shoulder rehab, after getting that shoulder surgery done last year. But after the Pittsburgh Pro, he decided to go for another off-season. So that's why he did not go for the Olympia this year. But the man came back and he won the British Grand Prix. And he also placed top 3 in Prague behind Samson Dauda and Martin, beating guys like Joan Pradels and Keon Pearson. So Krizo always brings his all-time best at Prague Pro stage, as that is the show where he made his pro debut about 3 years back. And that was the case this year too. And we saw the freakiest as well as the most ripped version of Michael Krizo in Prague. I mean, if someone can look that big standing next to a guy like Samson Dauda, then he legit is a true beast. And that's exactly what we saw from Krizo at his last show. So the man is heading into 2025 with the Olympia qualification. But he doesn't intend to take the whole year off in order to get bigger to grow. The plan is to do the Pittsburgh Pro and the New York Pro again next year. And both these shows are scheduled in the month of May. So we still have like 6 months till he has to step on the stage again. So Krizo can clean up, go through a mini off-season before he starts dieting down again. So the good thing is that the man stays so lean even at that kind of body weight. I mean, look at the body composition at 300 pounds. So he's gonna have no problem once he starts dieting down. So hopefully him wearing the waist trainer, that is going to make some considerable changes, some differences in his waistline, especially in the obliques, which I'm telling you guys is gonna be a game changer. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. Next up, we have the post-contest physique update from Mark Hector, who was unable to get his first pro win this year. But he did get a couple of very high placings, especially the last one, where he placed second behind Damien Koffel. So that show wasn't close between Mark Hector and Damien, if we go by the scorecards. But as per him and his coach Patrick Tuor, they definitely thought that him and Damien, they were very close. In fact, they disagreed with the results altogether, claiming that he should have won. Now that's a separate debate, but we did saw Mark in the best condition of his life at the Big Man Weekend Spain. And Mark is gonna stick with Patrick Tuor as his coach for the upcoming year. And that is the right call. So he will go through a full-length off-season cycle with him. And if they are able to improve the first 2 shots, the front double biceps and the front lat spread, because those are the 2 shots where Mark really struggles, especially after that shoulder surgery, mainly because of the mobility problem. So if he can fix that, he can finally get his first pro win, maybe as soon as next year. Now, as much of a great V-taper Mark Hector has overall, especially from the back. I mean, look at that back relaxed pose. But somehow that same V-taper, that simply isn't very good from the front. But considering that Mark went through a double shoulder surgery just a couple of years back, and he was able to make such a solid comeback, we can expect him to show up a lot better for 2026. Next up, we have an update from Justin Badurina, one of the top classic physique guys that we should all really look forward to in 2026. And these comments right here by Fuad, they are enough to tell you that this guy has what it takes to go all the way to the top.
We're talking about Justin Badurina. He's on the way, right? Niall, Darwin, these guys are all on the way into that group where you're like, holy fuck. And the other thing about these guys is it's not a size thing. They just need a few tweaks, right?
So looking at the crazy progress that Justin was able to make overall in his physique, and I have to say all over, look at that front double biceps. The quads on him are looking so much more improved. The chest is looking thicker, more denser, and same is the case with the arms and the shoulders too. Now, back was actually that one area where he improved the most, especially up top. So he kind of had a similar problem as Sebum. He did not have enough width, but he did exactly what Sebum was able to do, add more thickness in the lats and in the overall back. Now, if he can add more hamstrings, both in the side shorts as well as in the back double biceps, if he can develop more adductors, if he can close down that gap between the legs from the back, he will become so much more complete and so much more competitive. So as per Justin, back was the area where he improved the most, and is focusing on that even more for 2026. So this is him about 7 weeks after his last show. So holding on to a pretty decent body composition for the off-season. So I for one am very curious to see what kind of a package he brings in 2026. So another day, another update from the mutant Nick Walker. 10 weeks post Olympia this year, and the man looks way too lean. So that only means that the chances of his name appearing in the official Arnold Classic list, they are pretty high, and the guy literally has nothing to lose after this past Olympia. So his peak at the Olympia prejudging, that was terrible. Probably the worst look of his entire career. So just imagine the margin of improvements if he shows up looking like the way he did earlier this year at the Pittsburgh Pro. Now I have no idea why Nick Walker thought that his Pittsburgh Pro look, that wasn't among his all-time best. I mean, he almost took down an Olympia champion, Derek Lunsford, with that look at the Pittsburgh Pro. So this should be right up there with his all-time best physiques. So the biggest factor that's going to make the next prep for Nick Walker very exciting and kind of unpredictable is the fact that he decided to coach himself for this one, which he has never done before. So before the Olympia, people had him in their top 3. And if everyone is writing him off based on one bad showing, then all these guys are gonna jump back on the bandwagon if he shows up looking at his all-time best at the Arnold, Ohio. Now, I don't think he can beat a guy like Andrew Jacked, especially if Andrew is on. But the thing is, that's never a guarantee. Guys can come in off, and Nick can certainly become a 2 times Arnold, Ohio champion. So the upcoming Arnold will mark 2 years since we last saw Antoine Vaillant on a bodybuilding stage. So he posted this physique update today, looking pretty impressive for a guy who's retired. Or will we see him back on the stage in 2026? The thing is, he hasn't officially retired. He hasn't made the announcement. But considering the fact that he's a family man now and the man turned pro more than a decade back, the comeback now will yield more risk than reward. Now, on the flip side, when he did do the Arnold, Ohio, that was last year. That was undoubtedly the best physique of his entire pro career. So he came in ribbed and dry and very polished. But even that look, that did not get him into the top 5. So Antoine fought his way back into the elite bodybuilding level by overcoming an addiction. And then he had a couple of biceps tear. And he still made it to the Olympia stage, even after going through a hard condition. So if stepping back on the Olympia stage is his goal, he can certainly win another show. He certainly would have won a show with that same Arnold look this year had he continued to compete. But he has downsized quite a bit, and the man looks happy and healthy. So I do not see him going through a full stress of bulking and dieting again. Let me know what do you guys think. Also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.